News, sports, education, and entertainment. Wake Up GI with Jeffrey Smith. Brought to you by the Geary Community Schools Corporation.
All right, everybody, we are back. It is a wonderful Wednesday. It's the 21st of September, 2022. And this is Wake Up GI with Jeffrey Smith. Of course, it continues. Once again, the quality of the show goes up every time we get a new guest in. And this young lady who is sitting down with me now is out here. I'm looking at her. She's doing some big things in the coming days. Well, they do big things over there anyway. I often reference, I remember when my mother was alive still, I always used to try to get her to get over to see you all over at the YWCA, because all I used to hear from people coming up to me is about the Silver Sneakers program or whatever you all got going on over there. Then you got the pool and everybody's doing those aqua aerobics or whatever they call it. I know, just great stuff happening over there. But you got an event coming up on Saturday, October 8th at 6 p.m. called the Circle of Friends Gala. It's over at the Hard Rock Casino. We know where that is, 5400 West 29th Avenue in beautiful Geary, Indiana. And of course, I'm talking with Miss Carmen Jones. How you doing? Welcome to the show.
Right. Good morning, Jeffrey,
Hey.
and to all of your listeners. How are you this morning?
I'm doing great.
Doing wonderful. And it is such a joy to be here this morning to talk about the YWCA of Northwest Indiana, and also about our upcoming event called the Circle of Friends Gala. And we are just so super excited because as our co-host, we have Samantha Chapman from ABC 7 News and her DJ dad, Sam Chapman. We're going to have a great celebration because when we did our 100th in 2020, of course, it was virtual.
Right.
And so this time, everything is in person, and we're going to make up for it.
Absolutely.
We're going to make up for it. Yeah, because, you know, we have so much to be thankful for, so much to be grateful for, and we're not taking it for granted.
Absolutely.
We're just not.
Absolutely. When I was announcing that you were coming on, I was musing a little bit, and I thought it was the YWCA of Northwest Indiana. I didn't realize that you all had been in existence that long. I mean, I'm learning a lot. First St. Timothy's been around 96 years. Now the YWCA, 100 plus?
Yeah, 102 years.
102
and
years.
You know what? Longevity has its place.
It does. It absolutely.
I mean, it means so much. You know, this past, earlier this week when we saw the funeral of the Queen.
Absolutely.
That was about longevity.
It was.
The whole monarchy and things like that, going back centuries ago and seeing those buildings and things like that. And so we can't take that for granted because an organization in Geary, Indiana that has been here as long as the YWCA, that just didn't just happen.
No, it didn't. And talk to us about the history of the YWCA, because as I remember growing up as a young boy, I was a Boy Scout and all that kind of stuff. But I do remember the YMCA, and I remember always kind of hearing my grandfather talk about the Y. Like he would talk about, if you need a friend, need to find some place to stay or whatever, go stay at the Y and all that kind of stuff. And then of course the Village people came out and they publicized that as well.
Absolutely.
But
absolutely.
When I started to learn about the YWCA, I'm trying to remember how old I was. I was like, Mom, Dad, there's a YWCA, and they're like, of course it is. So give us a brief history, if you can, about the YWCA.
Yes. Of course, the original YMCA, that happened in way before the YW. That was like 1910. And the U.S. Steel City of Geary built the original YMCA.
Really?
Yes, they did.
Wow.
And in 1920, Judge Albert H. Geary gave the remaining funding to build and obtain the YWCA.
Interesting.
And so of course the original YMCA left Geary in the 50s or whatever, 60s, I'm not sure, but the YW remained and has been here. Originally we were on 6th and Massachusetts in that building, and then of course the building became old, and of course they built the new building in 2000. And so on the shoulders of the women, like your mom, Senator Earlene Rogers, all those women, Cynthia Powers, it's a lot of them who absolutely raised the funding to build a new building, and on their shoulders women like me, Chelsea, all of us on our board, Michelle Johnson, we stand.
Yeah.
Because we're still here to carry it on.
What would, call me naive, but what was the charge of the YM or the YWCA? I mean, and obviously there are people out there that don't even understand what the letters stand for.
Right.
But what was the true purpose of these organizations?
Originally, in the early 1900s, Young Men Association, when people would come in from different countries out of town, they would assimilate them into this area. Remember, 1906 area, and people came from everywhere, from the South, from different countries, so this was like a melting pot. And of course, things were a little different then. Men had to stay in their place, women had to stay in their place.
Yes.
At the time, women didn't even have the right to vote. Okay?
Well, of course, right.
So in 1920, when women finally did get the right to vote, and we had the YWCA, Young Women's Association, women were able to come to the YWCA to assimilate and learn everything they need to know, even as much as speaking English.
Yes, I could see it.
So
I understand.
they taught them all those things, and so it was imperative that we had those organizations, the Young Men's Christian Association and the Young Women's Christian Association, and both operated for men and women to be able to assimilate into their newfound areas where they were. Now, we come years coming down, sometimes they change our mission statement. We both are about health and fitness.
Right.
Ours as women is about women empowerment now, because we're in the 2000s, right?
Okay, yeah.
And so it's about women empowerment and eliminating racial injustice.
That's very interesting.
So we just, sometimes you have to change with the times.
Right.
And the YWCA, USA, they have done that. So their mission statement became women empowerment and eliminating racial injustice.
You want to know something, Caren? That is absolutely an amazing story. I think that's a very American story because it explains a lot. Because you're absolutely right. When the steel industry and industrialization, the great, industrialization part of this country in the early 1900s, and you have all these immigrants that are coming into the central part of the United States, that is still fairly young. We're just coming off, obviously, indentured servitude, slavery, as it were, and so now we're creating a labor force full of immigrants. There needed to be some kind of places to, I guess, indoctrinate people into what American life was like, with the help with the language and the values and all that.
Right.
And I didn't really appreciate the fact that the YWCA was a very impactful part of that.
Oh, absolutely. Of course, they had settlement houses and things like that.
Right.
But you have to remember that Gary, everybody that's here came from someplace else.
Absolutely.
So,
for one thing, work.
Absolutely. U.S. Steel, U.S. Steel, U.S. Steel. And from that, they built this wonderful city that we call Gary.
Yeah.
And the YWCA, we are a community staple.
Yeah.
We will be here, never left, never going nowhere. And that's why we're having the Circle of Friends Gala, because it's a fundraiser for us, and we want to be able to continue to provide services for the community in Gary, Northwest Indiana. And we are a family institution.
Yeah.
We accept men, women, children, family, girls, boys, everybody. So everybody, it's a co-ed facility. Everybody can come here, just like with the YMCA.
Yeah.
So think of this. What a wonderful, wonderful Gary, Indiana, that will have a YWCA, and in the soon future, a YMCA.
Oh, they're getting a YMCA coming back?
Let's talk about it.
Yeah.
Because, Gary deserves to have everything that it can have.
Yes.
There's no competition here. We want to embrace everybody and everyone that is in the city of Gary, in Northwest Indiana. You can come from Illinois. We want everything in Gary that is positive for our city.
Now let me ask you this, Carmen, because once again, I am learning something right now, and I hope the audience is...
Caren.
Okay, I'm sorry. Caren, I'm sorry, Caren. Let me bring this up, because are these conversations being had nationally? Because this is not just a Gary thing. This is something that I believe the country should know about the history of it. And, as I look at you all kind of evolving and moving around and having to change, mission statements, as you said, throughout the course of history, why is not the YWCA a major focal point when we hear about women's organizations? I mean, as you're sitting here across from me, just giving me this knowledge or this little kernels of knowledge that are falling onto my plate and I'm digesting them, I'm like, I had no idea this is a national organization that should be getting recognition as high as the National Organization of Women. I mean, you should be major players in presidential campaigns. People should be talking to you.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Our YWCA USA, they are getting there.
Yes.
They're getting there. It's all part of a strategic plan to make the YWCA more vocal about what's going on.
Yes.
Especially now in the country that we live now, with racial injustice and women empowerment, things like that, you know, the Dobbs decision, all those things like that. So our spokesperson, of course, is a national, you know, they're out of Washington, D.C.
Right.
And so they are getting there, and that's why I'm here, because I'm speaking up.
We need more of you going around here, Caren, because let me tell you something, and this is my own ignorance, and I'm not alone in it. I'm just admitting mine, and that is that for the most part, I think that a lot of us in the community have kind of relegated you all to being a very nice amenity to have in our community. And hey, guess what? It's a place for the seniors to kind of go and get their exercise on and blah, blah, blah. And it's so great to have them. But what you just sit here and told us is that you are so much more than that. You're a part of history. You're a part of Americana.
Absolutely.
You are the future. And we need people, we need you out there more telling about this, because I feel overwhelmed.
Yeah, absolutely. And our board, all the women who came before us, and the mission of the Y to be here in this city, it's big. You know, sometimes when I first got on the board and before I became the executive director, I used to say, wow, the Y is the best kept secret in Gary.
Yes.
And we don't want it to be a secret. We want everybody to know
in the
about
region.
The YWCA. And absolutely, Northwest Indiana, all over the country, because of the work that we are doing in our community, after school programs, summer camp, you know, the workshops that we're having. Even today, we are having Alzheimer's workshop.
Nice.
You know,
without violence.
Yes.
Yeah.
So, you know, we will be having October, the third week in October, we'll be doing Weekend Without Violence, because October is Domestic Violence Month.
Absolutely.
And so we'll be working with Edgewater Health for that initiative to get that out.
Right.
So there are a lot of things that we are doing in the community, and you're right, we have to get out more, speak up more, let people know that we are here. We're just not some nice ladies.
No, you're amazing.
Even though we are nice ladies.
You all are amazing.
But you know, sometimes people they just do the work.
Yeah.
They just get the job done.
Yeah.
You know, a lot of people complain, but they don't do nothing. Okay?
Yes.
So we're those people who, while you complaining,
we're
working.
Yeah, exactly. Absolutely.
You know, because you're moving around don't mean you're making progress.
I agree.
But we moving and making progress.
Where have you been all my life?
Right here.
I absolutely love this. I would ask you why I've got you on here now, because I think there are a lot of people that, well, not a lot, I think there's some people like myself who are just absolutely blown over by what we're learning from you in this very short amount of time. How can a person participate? How can they support? How can they join and be a part of this wonderful, wonderful organization? That's not, this is absolutely an iconic gem in the community. Go ahead.
Absolutely. Well, for our Circle of Friends Gala, the tickets, individual tickets are $100, but we do have sponsorships.
Yes.
And you can go on our website, www.ywcanwi.org, and all the information is there if you would like to do a sponsorship. A table of 10 is $1,000, and it should be your friends at your table.
Absolutely.
You know, we'll be giving out some awards for our friends who have been wonderful to the YWCA over the last couple of years.
Yes.
And we'll be announcing them soon. And we're just, I sometimes you cannot explain the things that people do for you that everybody else take for granted. It may sound a little, but for us it's a big deal.
No, it is.
Because of the needs of the YWCA. and our programming. And you know, when you have moms come in who got 4 children and she don't know what to do, the kids may have a problem, and you're looking at it like, I wonder why those kids' clothes not clean.
Exactly.
It may be because a water got turned off, and because people have pride, they don't want to tell nobody about it.
Yeah.
But when we find out about it, we do something about it.
Yeah.
We find out all kinds of ways to help people do what they do. We quietly do it because a lot of times people don't want everybody knowing all their business.
Of course not.
You know, and we're that agency that'll just go out and try to do those hookups, as we call them, you know, to get these people the services that they need.
Absolutely.
And it's so important. Just like with our after-school program.
Yeah.
We are partnering with the Gary Community School Corporation, with our after school, with the REACH grant, and also with the 21st Century grant.
Yeah.
And elementary and junior high will come to the Y for enrichment activities.
I like that.
The high school, West Side, they'll be starting soon to come over for different activities and things like that. And so that affords us to be able to reach more students and to put what we know into them. Also, we have, that'll be coming up October the 13th, we have what we call dinner and discussion for the after-school parents.
Yeah.
And that is being lauded by Chase Bank.
Oh.
And Lauren.
I was about to ask you about some corporate sponsorship.
Yes. Chase Bank with Lauren Yanis. She'll be coming over and she'll actually be providing dinner for the parents while the students are in after school, right?
Yeah.
And she's going to talk about financial literacy. And then we're going to talk to the parents about whatever ails them.
You know what?
We're going to do the listening. And like, y'all talk to us. Tell us what you need and what you want. Because a lot of times we think we know, we don't really know.
No, we don't. Let me tell you just how awesome you, and I'm talking specifically about the YWCA of Northwest Indiana, because as I've been sitting here listening, I've just been trying to think and wrap my head around this, is that, you know, I want you to appreciate the fact of, like you said, you're 100 years right here in Northwest Indiana, in Gary. And, you know, as somebody who's kind of watched this thing grow, you are in the land of nonprofits. Everybody around here has a 501c3 for something. And to be able to go out here, and I want people to really appreciate the services that you offer, the wonderful quality people that give their time, that you employ. Some people, I'm sure, volunteer.
Oh, yes.
But the resources that you all are putting out at a very high quality level, you're there for back to school, you're there for after school, you're there for the seniors, you're there for the regular mom and dad, or you're there for the community. And it doesn't, I mean, and then you still have to go out here and, you know, fundraise and do your job as a 501c3. But you've been operating consistently, and I'm sure you've had to, you know, pivot at some times and make some adjustments. But I think it's absolutely impressive that you've survived this long, because once again, you're in a land that's saturated with nonprofits. There are probably people out here and organizations out here that are redundant, trying to do some of the services that you all have consistently offered, and whatever it is, that's fine. But you stay steadfast and you stay open, and that is very hard thing to do.
Yes, and I owe that to all the staff.
Yeah.
All the volunteers who've been there for us, all the other organizations who sponsor different things for us. And I would be remiss if I did not say thank you to the city of Gary and the city council, the mayor, for the ARPA funding for us to renovate our building.
Very big deal.
That is a big deal because it's so much needed. You know, a lot of times when people build things, they don't think about the maintenance, just like with your car. You gotta change the oil.
Yeah.
I mean, you got to. If you don't, your engine is gone.
Right.
Your car is not worth anything at that point. So the YWCA, the building is 22 years old. But with this funding, we're going to renovate our pool.
Nice.
We're getting a new HVAC system. We're getting a new roof.
Oh.
We're painting. These are things that are so badly needed.
Right.
Because when things get 22 years old, you know, if you're 22 today, you'll be 44 in 22 years. Believe me, you'll be able to say, I know the difference.
You're the anchor of that part of Broadway and that part of the city. I mean, you know, obviously Dr. Smith does a great job. Like, he was just on the show last week. I told him about maintaining Frable Park. I mean, that's amazing. But when you think about, that little strip mall over there, and you think about, Broadway, that little stretch, and, the restaurants and things that kind of come and go, you all are the bedrock of that part of the community, and I think that you absolutely do a very good job. You bring traffic to that area. I would suggest that businesses look to that, when they're thinking about renting and opening up. It's just amazing. I mean, I'm so glad you took an opportunity to come through here, because I learned a lot.
I'm so glad that we're renovating, because now we'll be able to upgrade to be able to lease space for people who want to have different birthday parties, baby showers, anything that you would like to have. So we are that part of the community. I know a lot of people think everything that is big is best.
Yes.
I always say this: everybody don't want a German Shepherd for a dog.
No.
Some of us like Cocker Spaniels, little Chihuahuas, and things like that.
Man, I got a dash
But big is all right.
Yeah.
But guess what? We
I do have a hot dog.
we know our space and our area, our constituency, and we want to give the very best at whatever it is that we are doing.
Yes.
Not reaching way out, trying to become enormous and all these things like that. But whatever you do it with excellence, because excellence is a habit.
Yeah.
And that is something that we all have to learn. We want to teach our children that, our staff, our school kids, everybody. If the city of Gary became the city of excellence,
Yes.
and make it a habit, there's no telling how high we're going, because I know we're going high.
No.
I can feel it.
I can feel it too, Caren. I mean, listen, I know we're kind of coming up against it. I want you, before you go and tell us more about the Circle Friends Gala that's coming up, I want you to tell people about how you can just become a member. Because as I said before, I was trying to get, my mother's mobility towards the end became very limited and things like that. But I know a couple of her friends that are over there. You know them. They swear by it.
Yes, yes.
So how can you be a member?
Okay, so to become a member, of course, you can go online and sign the paperwork and everything. But if you are a senior, 65 and older, part of your Social Security Advantage plan may be that you have silver sneakers.
Yes.
And you don't even know it. We are a silver sneaker provider.
Yep.
And they will pay for your health and fitness, whatever your payments. And our pool is a warm water pool.
Yeah, it is.
Whatever ails you, because we all know as we get older, the old Aka brothers, they kind of knock on your door and show up and say, hi, how you doing?
They don't wait till you get older.
And so when they come, you have to do something to make life better. A lot of us, we get old, we'll be like, Lord, if I knew I was going to live this long, I took better care of yourself. Well, guess what? You're going to live long, so take better care of yourself. And just come straight over to the YWCA. For our family members, if you're not a senior, it's $35 a month. That's the cheapest in town.
Exactly.
And then for a whole family, mama, daddy, kid, $45. It's like, come on, man, get out of here.
All respect to the city of Gary or whatever, but I've always said it. You all are our health club of the city. You really are. I mean, no disrespect to the Hudson Campbell, God bless them, but you all are the health club of the city, and everybody knows it because they go there to swim, they go there to work out, they go there to participate in the variety of activities that you have in the classes. So I think it's amazing.
Yes, and we just appreciate it so much. If you want your student to be part of the after-school program through the city of Gary, you have to contact the school, and they are going through applications now for the students who will be part of the after-school program through the city of Gary and with the YWCA.
Now, how does that work transportation-wise?
Transportation-wise, we do some picking up.
Okay.
Some of the other parents, you can drop your kid off if you like to. And we're there. Our after-school program is from 2:30 to 6:30.
Oh, my goodness.
So it gives parents a chance to get off work. If you want to go do your grocery shopping without your children begging for
Save some money. Exactly. Save some money on childcare.
Oh, absolutely. This program through the city of Gary is a free program through the REACH grant and also the 21st Century grant. And so all applications go through the school itself.
Yeah.
But we are just so excited to be partnering with them for this very, very special program, which is so much needed because of what happened during the pandemic and children going virtual. And now, most people won't believe this, but as soon as the children come to the Y, they finish with their homework, they get their lunch, their dinner, and it's time for activities. When they go into the gym, as soon as they hit the door, they just start screaming and running.
Yeah.
And I was always wondering, why?
Because they're kids.
They're kids, but also it's this burst of energy in this big space that they can just run.
Oh, absolutely.
And I'm just so happy to be able to do it. And we're like, why are you screaming?
If I was a parent, I'll tell you why I'm happy, because when I pick them up, they're tired, they're going to be quiet and go to bed with it, That's what I'm happy
And you know
about.
what? And that's absolutely true, because a lot of times parents say they go to sleep in the car.
Thank you.
And it's like, wow, that's what we want. We want to be able, for you, Mom, Dad, to have a break tip.
Absolutely.
And that gives you a chance to do all of that.
You need to put a tip jar up at the front desk, because I'm sure parents would give you a couple of dollars for thanking you for what you're doing.
Well, we're just delighted. we're delighted to be here. And I also want to give a shout out to our visionary presenting sponsor, which is the Hard Rock Casino.
Nice.
They are doing a wonderful job. Really appreciate all the work that they're doing for us. And also, guess what, Jeffrey?
What?
We're going to have a live band.
Oh.
And guess who that band is?
Who's that band?
The Joan Colasso Group.
Okay.
Out of Chicago.
Oh.
This woman is fantabulous. And if you look up her name, Collasso, you can YouTube her.
Yeah.
And you can see her singing. I mean, she's the bomb. So we're going to have a great time. And I got some more news, too.
Go ahead.
Before you go. We are celebrating with the Gary Rotary Club.
Uh-oh.
Because they are also...
They get
100
after it. They get after it. They play low key, but I hear they get after
it. Oh, they're special. They are celebrating their 100th anniversary, too. We both did 2020.
Yeah.
And so they're going to celebrate with us. And also, because of the funding that they raised for us, they raised over $53,000 to renovate and replace our playground for our children.
Yeah.
And that deserves all the kudos in the world, and I'm so grateful to Jack Tunk and all of those in the Gary Rotary Club who worked so hard to raise the funding for that.
Is that Mr. Tunk and his wife Judy?
Yes.
I grew up with them.
Yes,
Yeah.
great friends of the Y. And so they will be there October the 8th.
Nice.
So, just in honor of them, please come out to this fabulous Circle of Friends Gala. We're going to have a great time. We're looking forward to everybody being there.
Black tie?
It's not black tie, but it's dressed to impress.
Okay, there you go.
Yeah, you know how to say in church, come as you are, but it's dressed to impress. So come out.
I like you.
So just come. You can call me.
Yeah, give us ticket.
Yes, 219-881-9922, or you can email me at Caren, Caren, at YWCA.NWI.org. You also can support us by buying pages in our program book.
Absolutely.
So there are many ways to support, and if you cannot attend, just donate. You can go to our website, hit the donate button, and whatever God puts on your heart to donate, we will accept kindly.
Absolutely. It's going to be a wonderful event. I've been telling people about all these wonderful events going on in the region, and I've been telling people about the etiquette, so I'm going to read it out. 6 o'clock, that's the welcome. That's the cocktail hour, ladies and gentlemen. So we had a conversation earlier about this. You were raised correctly. And then, of course, dinner is served at 7, and then 8 o'clock the program starts. So get there at 6. How's that? You know what I'm talking about, those of you out there. Cocktail hour. But anyway, I want to thank Caren. This is absolutely amazing, and I'm not even, I can't even say it enough. I learned so much. You all are a valuable organization, I would argue nationwide, and we'll talk about that later because you're coming back on the show again.
Yes,
but you're definitely doing some very serious work here, and you are absolutely needed. We appreciate you, and thank you very much. You're the right person for the job, by the way.
Well, thank you for having me. I just know that the YWCA loves Northwest Indiana. The YWCA loves Gary, Indiana. And we know that Gary, Indiana, Northwest Indiana loves the YWCA.
Yeah. Okay.
And we're here for you.
All right.
All right, thank you.
All right, there you go. That's my new friend, Miss Caren.